Okay guys, so I just got back to my side of town. Like, traffic's so weird today. There's like some people at work and there's not, and my camera's dying and it's blinking. Great, so it's probably gonna cut out. But I was trying to cut through an area of my neighborhood to get home because the traffic's so weird, and I just can't. Okay. Yeah, this didn't help either. I'm just going. I went to two different churches today for my I went to Veneration of the Cross at my church, and then I had to go to another church for stations because my church doesn't do it. So I'm finally getting home from all that, and traffic's so weird, and the weather's like super weird. Like, some places it was really heavy, and the places where it's usually heavy it wasn't. And then like people are driving like idiots, and I couldn't even get, like, I exited the freeway and nobody would let me over to get to the street where I turn to head down towards my neighborhood area. So that happened. I don't know what's going on with people today. They're in such funky moods. But yeah, happy Friday, everyone. It is way later in the afternoon. Earlier when I turned my camera on and I was like trying to drive through the crazy back ways to get home, it was already like 2 o'clock. Now it's like 4. So basically this morning I went to 2 different churches, got that done. I'm still fasting. I'm gonna break my fast at probably like 5 and have a granola bar, just because I do take medicines. I can't fast all day. But so I'm glad I cleaned though, because I am like, it's funny because I can go all day and not feel like eating sometimes, but in my head, if I'm like fasting for, you know, like a blood test or something like that, or just for other reasons, all I can think about is food. It's like, anyway, enough about that. So I was upstairs publishing my video, or no, checking to see if my video published while I was gone, because I had it set to publish when it uploaded. Somebody was like knocking on my door, which is weird because we have a doorbell and usually people ring the doorbell. So we live in a gated community and there is no soliciting because it's a private community. You're not like, there's no soliciting allowed. There's no trespassing unless you're a guest of someone that lives here, stuff like that. So I don't know. Somebody like knocked on my door instead of, it was weird because instead of like ringing the doorbell, they knocked. So I thought, oh, it must be a neighbor. And I usually don't open the door, but I saw from like the upstairs room, it looked like a woman, and I thought it was my neighbor from across the street. So when I came down and opened the door, there was no one there. And then this guy comes around the corner and he's in like a brown kind of uniform, but no company name. And just like a hat, but the hat didn't say a company name. And he didn't have like a clipboard or anything. And he was like, you've probably seen the orange signs in your, I was like, wait, are you selling something? Because I have signs that says like no soliciting, no religious queries, no beware of dog, not liable for injury or death sign. And I was like, are you trying to sell something? Because this is a private community. You can't solicit here, that you're trespassing. And he was like, well, no, you've probably seen the, or he just kept, I was like, I have an alarm system if you're about to try it. Because I know he was trying to sell me an alarm system. I'm like, I have an alarm system. I have an ADT sign right there. He's like, yes, but do you have cameras? I'm like, honey, I got cameras all over this house. You're on camera right now. Yes, I have cameras. So no, thank you. Whatever you're selling, I'm not buying. You need to get out of the community. And he was like, but do you have cameras? Where are your cameras? Do you have a doorbell camera? I was like, what the hell? I was like, you need to leave, like, now, because he just kept talking about cameras. And I was like, I just got a sense like something was amiss there. And the thing is, even though I have a no soliciting sign, there are people that come in the neighborhood and like they get in through the gate and it's like, who are the people that go to your door? Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff like that. And since I put the sign up, those people never ring our doorbell. But today, like, I thought it was so weird that he came and knocked on the door. I swear I saw a woman first, and it made me nervous. So I'm just going to give you guys some, I don't know, tips, I guess. My dad is a police chief, and there's several things that people that break into homes do, especially when they break in during the day. The first thing being they work in pairs. So that's what kind of made me nervous about seeing a woman at first, and then it was a guy that came around the corner. Another thing being they come at certain times, like either like early in the morning right after you would leave for work. Some of them will come in at lunchtime, but others won't because some people come home for lunch, and then in the late afternoon, but not to the point where it's before you get home. Another thing they do is one of them will ring the doorbell or knock, and they'll like kind of wait around, and then if you open your door, sometimes they'll be like, oh, I was trying to sell something, or oh, I'm looking for this person, knowing that you're going to say you have the wrong house, and they'll go away. And that's kind of their way of also checking to see if anyone's home. Another thing is when they do break in, normally they always break in through your back door. So you want to reinforce the screws that hold your door in, because some of the times, like when we took our screws out and traded them in for like big deck screws, the screws they put in on the hinges that hold our door closed were these tiny little screws, and that makes it harder to kick your door in. And there's several other things that could be a whole nother video, but so yeah, I'm really leery when I think I see two people, and when your story's not making sense and you're getting really nervous and you keep asking me things about cameras. So yeah, I get extra paranoid. But the reason that even if I don't open the door, I will say something through the window, most times when something is a home invasion during the day, meaning you are there when somebody comes into your home, it is because people hear the doorbell and they ignore it. So those people that break in that are like, okay, I knocked, I didn't hear anything, now I'm gonna break in. That's usually what my dad says happens. So I always say something through the window or tell them to leave. Or if I open the door like I did this time, you know, I could tell he was really nervous. But another thing too is probably like, y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, the area around my house is really sketchy. I usually, if I'm choosing to open the door, I put the dogs away, but I do have I open the door with one hand, and behind the door they can't see, I have one of my guns just for my protection because I'm a woman, and yeah. So that was weird. He wasn't making any sense. Like the way he said the company's name or what he was selling was like blah, 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 to where I like couldn't understand. I was like, excuse me. He was just like jittery and nervous, and his uniform didn't even have like ADT or any kind of alarm company thing. And I thought it was weird that I was like, literally, I already have an alarm. Bye. But he kept going, but do you have cameras? It's just like, sketchy. So that happened. That was weird. I thought I would just give you all those tips. If you are home alone and somebody's knocking at your door and you're too nervous to open it, which if somebody's making you nervous, you shouldn't. The reason I opened the door initially, which I usually wouldn't have, is I thought I saw my neighbor. I saw a woman like from the top that looked like my neighbor. And so yeah, that's the only reason I opened the door. So even if you don't want to open the door and you're nervous, you guys, like, through the window, you need to tell them, like, no soliciting, go away, I'm not interested, this is private property, something like that, so that they hear that somebody's inside is usually the best thing to do. That's what my dad always says to do. So I don't know, but that was weird. So he kept asking about cameras. So I was like, yes, I have cameras. But it was because I didn't want to be like, it's none of your goddamn business, because if he was a thief, I wanted him to know, like, yes, I have cameras all over my house. I have everything ADT has to offer, and you will be on camera. But yeah, so that was weird. Okay, so I was gonna vlog and tell you guys why we're at the store, and I will in a second. But first, we were getting dinner. We got sandwiches really like fast on the way to the store, and we're in the sandwich shop. Just went to go use the bathroom. And I see him like open the door, and I just thought it was like a bad pungent smell because of the face he made. And then he started walking back with like his hands in his pocket, and I was like, was the smell that bad? And then he told me there was a guy in there that didn't lock the door, and he saw it all. Well, not privates, but he was like,
thankfully I didn't see anything actually.
Well, you saw him on the toilet sitting.
No.
What do you mean? You said he was sitting. How would you know he was sitting if you didn't see him?
All I saw was like legs. Because by the time I realized what was happening, I was already like, oh shit, and close the door.
Why do people not lock that
Lock the bathroom.
It was so funny though. I was like, as soon as he said that happened, I started clearing the table and getting our stuff because I get really bad secondhand embarrassment, and if that had happened to me, I would have been like, we have to go now before they come out. I would have been like clearing the table, and we would have had to eat our sandwiches in the car. Because I can't, like, I wouldn't be able to look at somebody after that. But he was like, no, it's fine. It's his fault. We're just like, oh, I want to go. This is awkward. But what did you say about the comedian?
Oh, I forget who it was, but they were talking about how when someone like comes into your stall or like opens the door and you forgot to lock it or whatever, you don't know what to say, and then your voice just like it gets higher and higher. So
look at them, not me. Tell it to the camera.
this is so strange. Yeah, basically the guy was like
You can look at the camera, it's rude.
so basically Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm done.
No, I'm leaving here. So basically
the guy
did you just like a Lewis when I said that? My friend Lewis, he says basically a lot. He has like an accent. What does Lewis says basically? If you guys see my vlog or my videos with Lewis, I'm sure he said it at least once. Did you think of him when I said that?
Yeah. So anyway, the guy was like, hello, hello, hello. Like all panicked, and I think he got out 3 or 4 of them before I even realized what was happening.
Yeah. But basically, you said the comedian was right. It does really happen like that. People's voice go through stages of panic. So we're at the store because we were gonna go have brunch on Easter, and then we're like, oh, but that's really expensive. So then we're like, I told him, I was like, well, what if I just make us like an Easter dinner? So basically, Justin's family is going up to Huntsville. Stop laughing at, you're thinking of Lewis again, aren't you? Every time we say basically, we think of Lewis.
Basically.
So we what was I saying now? Oh yeah, Justin's family is going up to his grandma's house in Huntsville, which is like 2 hours from us. His aunt's having a bunch of family, but we had already signed up at church to help with like the Easter egg hunt and all that stuff. So we're gonna be at church a few hours on Easter, like most of the morning. So for us, like, if we have to be gone somewhere for a long amount of time, we only do it once in a day because it's not fair to the dogs. If we were at church for 4 hours and then came home for an hour and then went and left them for 4 to 6 hours, like, we don't do that. Like, we leave for one part of the day during that span, or collectively not more than 4 hours. I don't know if that makes sense. So we can't do that. And then my dad just doesn't seem to do holidays anymore, or I don't know if they don't matter. I don't know. I'm a little sensitive about that, so I'm not going to get into it. But I didn't hear anything from him because my dad's closer, like it's not 2 hours away, so we could go at least like have lunch with somebody for like maybe an hour or so, but he's not doing anything. So we were going to go to brunch by ourselves, which is fine, but this place called the Cadillac Bar, is there somebody actually in that car? Oh my god, stop. Do you see somebody in that car?
No.
It's a dog! Oh no! You see him now?
Oh yeah. It's a chocolate lab.
Why do people leave their fucking dogs in the car? It's humid as shit out. You know, in Houston and other places right now, there's a high crime rate of when you leave your animal in the car, people are stealing them. That's been happening. So, just saying. Are they fighting?
What is going on over here?
They're fighting?
People crapping without a lock and dogs in the car.
I better put the camera down or they might punch our window. I'm just gonna say.
Why are you videotaping the sky?
She just got in the back seat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my fucking goodness.
With the ICP t-shirt and everything. That pretty much explains it all.
I hope it picked up. Like, you could hear them screaming. She kept saying what was she saying? You're invalid. You're invalid. And next time we fight, we do that. You're invalid, even though we don't fight. I just feel like
I have to start a fight just so you can do that.
just start a fight. So you're like, you're invalid. You're invalid. You're invalid. And then she got in the back seat like he was a damn chauffeur.
Home.
Wow, I can't remember. Okay, so basically, we don't have anything to do for Easter besides all the church stuff we're doing. So we were going to go to brunch, but brunch at a Catholic bar is like $30 a person. And we thought about it, we're like, that's just too, it's a nice indulgence and it'd be a nice way to celebrate because it's like, oh, here comes the owner.
You're never going to finish your story.
I'm never going to finish this story. Because I don't want them to be like, what are, I'm just, screw it. I don't care if they judge me. So.
My human came back.
Poor baby.
He's got his chin resting on the bed.
Why would you leave me like that?
You were gone for 7 days.
So.
Squirrel.
I'm never going to finish the story.
Nope.
Okay, so we're like, okay, that's way too much money. But we don't have kids. And it's kind of hard when we don't have kids to like celebrate a holiday that's like, it's about Jesus and him rising from the dead, but also it's like Easter eggs and kids hunting, and like we're missing that part of our life that, you know, we keep waiting to happen. So we're like, but we still want to celebrate holidays. Easter is an important holiday to us. It's still a holiday. So we decided, we were talking about like, okay, what was your favorite thing at Easter to eat? Because we're talking about the different things our families would make, like mac and cheese or like potato salad, deviled eggs. And both our families always had ham, right? Yours always had ham?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time we had ham too. And I was a vegetarian as a kid for like 13 years of my life. And you didn't eat like ham, right? You don't like ham. You've never eaten it at holiday. He doesn't really eat it. We always just eat the sides. Well, we talked about the sides we always liked eating, and we're like, it sucks that nobody's throwing Easter in our family like close by, so we just could go eat the sides we always eat. And then we decided, this sounds like such fat asses, don't we? It's like, screw seeing our families and being with them, we just want the sides. It sounds really bad. We were just talking about that, and I was like, so I was like, you know what, babe? We're not going to go to brunch. That's way too much money. Let's go to the store and we'll pick like a few sides that we loved eating or we love eating at holidays, and I'll make them. And we'll just have an Easter dinner of sides. And it doesn't even matter if it's healthy or not. It's just like one day, you know. We would eat it anyway if we were at a family function. So like, screw it, let's go make it. So Easter, we're having potato salad, mac and cheese, green bean casserole, deviled eggs, crescent rolls, and a dessert. We're just gonna pick the dessert here. But yeah, that's our Easter plan. So that's why we're at the grocery store. So let's go. We can't find the French's onion ring stuff. Little Crispies. They weren't with the salad croutons and stuff. This is driving me. Green beans. We need green beans.
No, I went back and checked the breadcrumbs because I thought that's where
Or
it
the
was.
breadcrumbs, this, like where the salad stuff is, and the breadcrumbs, you went and checked it, where I told you I already
Yeah, that's
checked.
where the spices were.
It was
Salad.
right with the green beans that we just got.
You're invalid.
You're invalid. Oh my god, what is she doing with that camera? What are they doing? Are they filming? Oh my god. I love watching people's faces.
It's even better whenever you get to people that are like.
Did I tell you about the guy in where I went with Crystal
No.
to the Nutcracker Market?
No.
And he was like behind us trying to get in the video. Yeah, like that. Some guy was throwing pennies with his son and almost hit me. Because that's mature.
like across the store, throwing pennies. It's gonna be here. Does anyone know the difference between black pepper and white pepper? Does it really matter?
So the stuff that we have has white pepper in it. No,
But is it the same?
I mean, clearly it's not exactly the same. Pepper is pepper, right?
Well, then why would they say white pepper specifically for a recipe?
Because it's fancy.
Is it? Is that the only thing? Oh, these are the best.
Are they?
Yes, the amaretto frosted pecans. Oh my gosh. This is a dessert we got freshly made in the bakery. Tiramisu. Oh my gosh, I love tiramisu so much. Anyway, I talked a lot today. I feel like we talked a lot in the car, and the car took me forever to get my story out, so I'm gonna let him in. So I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Ralphie said, what is in his mouth? Oh, she said bye. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.